Good morning to all and welcome to the session. This session is all about passage tips and tricks. But before we go to that, I would like to talk about reading comprehension skill. This is an important skill from different competitive exams point of view, especially bank exams point of view. Now let us see what exactly it means. Reading comprehension skill is the ability to read text, process it, and understand its meaning. There are three dimensions: ability, the skill to read text, process it, and understand its meaning. But broadly, there are two areas you have to focus on to become good at reading comprehension skill. It depends on two interconnected abilities: vocabulary, being able to understand the meaning of words, and language comprehension, being able to understand the meaning of the sentences. So, broadly, there are two areas. One, you should be able to understand the meanings of the words. That means you have to be good at vocabulary. The other one, you should be able to understand the language comprehension, what exactly the sentences mean. At the outset, these are the two things we always focus on when we think of reading comprehension skill. Now, coming to the actual topic for this session, passage, tips and tricks. Again, reading comprehension skill. Imagine you're good at reading comprehension skill, and exams point of view, you will be able to handle four topics with a lot of ease. First one, passage, the most important, then parajumble, then close test, then scramble sentences. In this session, I'm going to talk about the first one, the most important, and why is it the most important. At the fag end of the session, you will come to know. Usually, any competitive exam, when you try to answer a particular segment or a particular section, you have to ask the question, any subject for that matter, what is tested? Why should they give a passage? And what exactly is tested? Or what do they expect from the candidates? When you look at these, you get an idea. So when you ask the question, why is a passage given? What is tested? What do they expect from the candidates? The first one, what is tested? Ability to grasp explicit information. They test your ability, your skill to grasp or to understand explicit information. Here, the key words are in a different color. Now, you may ask, sir, what does it mean, explicit information? When you read a passage, a paragraph, there are certain facts and figures clearly mentioned in the passage. That's what we call explicit information. It is printed. To answer the questions based on explicit information, all that you have to do, take the key words in the question, navigate, locate, you get the answer. This is rather easy. The second one, ability to grasp implicit information. This is very difficult. Again, you may ask, sir, what does it mean? Implicit information. Implicit means implied. It is not it is not in the passage. You cannot see that. But the writer conveys a particular meaning or conveys a particular message. When you read between the lines, not literally, when you read between the lines, you will be able to get that message, that implied information. This is higher level of comprehension. The third one, ability to grasp the main theme of the passage. When a writer, he or she, writes a passage, there's a message, there's a theme, there's a concept, the central concept. So, ability to grasp the main theme of the passage, they try to test. The fourth one, ability to grasp the writer's views. When a writer, again he or she, writes a piece of text, he or she has a few views. They could be subjective, they could be objective. Subjective means personal, objective means based on facts and figures. So, what is the fourth one? Ability to grasp the writer's views. The last one, ability to grasp the meanings of words based on the context. Here, context is very important. You may ask why. In English, there are about 8 lakh words, I have said many a time. Of these 8 lakh words, a typical English man or woman knows only 50,000 on the higher side. Intellectual, I'm talking about. And they themselves don't know 7 lakh 50,000 words because it's an ocean. Another problem with English vocabulary. Every word has two or three meanings. Some words have 100 plus. If you take a simple word like run, it is a word with maximum number of meanings, 400 plus, I suppose. Here, when they have so many meanings, based on the context, the meaning changes. And they want to test that particular ability to grasp the meanings of words based on the context. Today, I'm giving only the tips and tricks. So, what are the five areas tested? One, ability to grasp explicit information printed in the passage, you see in the passage. Ability to grasp implicit information, implied, you don't see, but when you read between the lines, you understand. Third one, ability to grasp the main theme of the passage. What is it about? Fourth one, ability to grasp the writer's views. What exactly the writer wants to convey. Is it something personal or factual or positive or negative or neutral? You should be able to grasp. And the last one, this is the most important, why you'll come to know after some time, ability to grasp the meanings of words based on the context. These are the areas, five areas tested. Now comes the question in the exam how to read the passage. There are two approaches. One, passage, questions. Second, questions, passage. But I always recommend, this is my personal stand, I always recommend read the passage, then go to the questions. But read the passage, not spending a lot of time. How to read the passage? The first one, read the passage quickly to get an idea what it is about. That is known as skimming. After that, read the questions focusing on the key words. In every question, you have key words. So, second step, read the questions focusing on the key words. Third step, read the passage carefully, focusing on key words. When you read the passage, the third step, you have to read carefully, meticulously, analytically. And while reading, you have to focus again on keywords, important words. This is known as scanning. You look for the main ideas, supporting ideas, and what exactly the writer wants to convey, all these aspects. Look for the content words. Here, two types of words are there, structural, content. Content words, words with meanings. So when you read, you don't have to focus on the structural words, you have to focus more on content words. Next aspect, how to answer. There are 5 questions, 10 questions based on the passage, 5 questions based on comprehension skill, and 5 questions based on vocabulary, the meanings of the words based on the context. Now, how to answer? Do you have to go first question, second question that way, or is any approach? You should always try to answer vocabulary based questions first. What is the reason? These are easy to answer, and all that you have to do, you should be good at vocabulary, obviously. Take the word, they ask either synonyms or antonyms. See where exactly it has been used in the passage. Understand the context. Based on the context, you try to choose the correct option. And here, 5 questions. Usually, in my opinion, you will be able to answer 3 or 4. That should not be a problem. After that, answer questions based on explicit information. Then you may ask, so how do we know whether it is based on explicit information or based on implicit information? Based on the keywords in the question, if you see the same keywords in the passage, it is based on explicit information. You will be able to decide. Answer questions based on explicit information. After that, when you read the entire passage, answer the question related to the title of the passage. You will be able to answer this effortlessly. Then you still have time. Answer questions based on writer's views. What is something in writer's opinion? They ask directly about writer's views. This is also higher level. The last one, answer questions based on implicit information. This is the higher level, at a higher level. But these two, If you cannot answer, nothing to worry. One or two questions. Don't expect. Though you read the entire passage, it doesn't mean that you can answer all the 10 questions. Don't expect. If you can answer 7 questions or 8 questions, you should be extremely happy. So here you should have the ability to understand whether you can answer or you cannot answer a particular question. Usually I tell students passage based, sometimes they ask questions true, false, not easy. To answer those questions true or false, you have to read the entire passage, you have to cross check every option. That takes a lot of time. Instead of that, you try to answer 7 or 8 other questions and be happy. You can skip these questions. They are, in a way, traps. Don't fall in the trap. Now comes the question, why is passage important? As I said, almost all the competitive exams you come across a passage. Especially bank exams, passage is very important because usually passage is for 10 marks. 10 marks makes all the difference. You can easily answer 5 to 7 questions. That means you're going to get 5 to 7 marks. That makes all the difference. Passage gives, from day one, you practice how to read the passage, how to answer the questions. Passage gives a competitive edge. A lot of people, a lot of candidates try to avoid the passage. What is the reason? It takes a lot of time and they don't have the confidence. They're not quite sure whether they can answer or not. So they try to avoid. But do remember, all that you need on the higher side, 8 minutes, not more than that, and 5 minutes to read the passage. Imagine 1,000 words, and 3 minutes to answer the questions. Comfortably, you can do that. And if you practice, it is possible, and you can get 20 plus out of 30 effortlessly. But if you skip the passage, it's a blunder, in my opinion. This gives a competitive edge. How to master reading comprehension skill? The bottom line. Read passage. First, you have to read the Hindu editorials every day. Besides that, read passages from previous year's papers. Very important. You get an idea the standards, what sort of passages they touch, how they ask the questions. Then read passages related to sleeps. This is an acronym I have created. You may ask, sir, what is this sleeps? The letters stand for science and technology, legal, education, economy, polity, socio-cultural problems. Usually passages, closed test, para-jumbles, based on these areas. Of these, economy very important, then science and technology, then socio-cultural problems. And you should have all the burning issues at your fingertips, important topics at your fingertips. Then it becomes a familiar context you will be able to answer. That's all about this session. Passage tips and tricks. Thank you very much.